What's up, you guys? My name is Joshua Stonecutter. Welcome to Conspiracy in Real Time, the greatest show on earth. I am coming to you tonight extremely medicated and totally unregulated. I have that written down. Subscribe to my content and share my content. The stuff I'm talking about is serious, okay? And I have a big disclosure. I got a big announcement to make. I'm just going to tell you right now what it is. I know where the portals are. I don't know how else to say it. There's a lot of them. I know where about 5 or 6 of them are. Period. Boom. I'm not the only one. Seems like a lot of people know where they are. Okay, so these are the two topics that we're going to talk about tonight, and we're going to talk about narcissistic abuse as well. We're going to talk about the car, which is why we're in this mess. It's one of the reasons I'm sitting here talking to you, and we're going to talk about the portals. All right, so before we get into all that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a petition circulator. I go out on the streets and collect signatures on petitions, so I'll speak with like 500 to 1,000 people every day. I was homeschooled. I believe now that the reason I was homeschooled was to hold me back. And I think what my parents did was they stretched out years or something. Like, I don't know how they would have done it. Like, I don't know. But like, either there's like a year that I don't remember, or like something was happening to me during the time that I was homeschooled. I was absolutely being abused horribly growing up. I didn't realize it until just recently. I know that sounds crazy, but a lot of the stuff would happen when I was very young, and I thought the things that happened were my fault. And the things that my parents did, I thought it was explained to me by professionals that it was done on accident. They were doing the best that they could. The people who told me all this knew my parents. The people at the rehab I went to, they're all in the same cult. It looks like they're all in the same cult, or all in the same group, or whatever. All right, so let me tell you why we're in this mess, or why I'm sitting here talking to you right now. Because there was a time when I was looking to my father and my mother for help. I was looking to them for help. And my dad did help. They did help me, right? My dad actually helped me quite a bit. A lot more than I was expecting him to. And the reason was because I turned the mind control around on him. And I started doing a combination of guilt tripping him and calling him out on being involved with this stuff in such a way as to not like directly be like, yo, I know, but like I kept saying things like that. It really like, what, you obviously know about this. Like, it looks like you know something. So let me tell you about the car. I don't want to go through the whole story, but I ended up in Gainesville without a car. And I like freaked out. As soon as I said something regrettable on the phone, my dad jumped at the opportunity, and boom, they had me sent to a mental institute. In Florida, when like you're okay and you go to a mental institute, all they do is they hold you for 72 hours and then they let you go. Well, when I got in there, upon talking to the doctor, it became very obvious that she was not going to let me go after 72 hours. Or it didn't seem like that was her intention, anyways. And I was right. I read her correctly. They ended up keeping me in there for like 5 days. So when I got out, I was like super medicated. I was super drowsy, and I didn't have a job. I was out of money. And so I needed a vehicle. I needed a vehicle so I could go look for a job. And I'm telling you, those medications that they had me on, I was just so slowed down, you guys. And then if I smoked a little marijuana on top of it, forget about it. Like, I was just down for the count. And I think that's why they gave me what they gave me, because they knew that I was like a total pothead. And they're like, oh, well, if we give him this, it's going to knock him out, if he smokes. So, I mean, you have to understand, every place that I've gone to for help, they have not been there to help me. They have been there to totally just Rochambeau me. You know what I'm saying? Like, throw me under the bus, put me on a bunch of meds, make sure my libido doesn't work, make sure my brain doesn't work, make sure my body doesn't work. So I needed a car. My dad said, look, I want to help you. I'm going to buy you a car. I was like, a used car, I was like, awesome, thank you. So I start looking on Craigslist, and I'm looking at like reasonably priced cars, you guys. I'm looking at cars that are like $2,000, $3,000, you know. And I was getting ready to go check out a Mustang out near like Keystone Heights, right? And it was like $1,800 or something, like, you know, it wasn't what I wanted. It was like a 90s Mustang. It wasn't like because in 2006 the Mustang started with like the body designs that I like, so it was like older than a 2006. It was like a 98 or something, but it was a convertible too. And that was just like I wasn't going after it because it was a convertible. That was just like, oh wow, and look at this. Well, this was the reason. This is why I'm telling you this, you guys. This was a huge turning point for me. Okay, because I'm on the phone with my dad in Tallahassee saying, look, I got this Mustang. It's $1,800. I think the guy would have probably taken $1,500 for it. I said it probably needs like $1,000 worth of work or something, maybe $500 worth of work. I'm guessing. I'm gonna go test drive it the next day or two. Well, this guy Jimmy H from Creekside was totally messing with me, right? I don't want to get into that right now, but he was set in to mess with me. That guy is not a Christian. That's all I'll say about Jimmy. Yo, I don't know what that. Yo, go talk to him yourself and ask him, and then call me and we can three-way talk. He won't even get into it. He won't. He won't even talk to me on the phone with another person on this subject. I promise you. He's just gonna run. He's just gonna run, run, run. So Jimmy was supposed to give me a ride. Blah blah. All of a sudden, my dad buys me this car. He has a car for me, and I'm happy. It's like a little SUV. It's a 2000. It's a Kia, and for the next like 5 or 6 days, I'm in a hotel, and he's like, "Well, I'm working on the car. I'm working on the car. I'm fixing it up for you." Well, finally, like one thing leads to another. I catch a bus from Gainesville up to Tallahassee. I meet my dad, and I get in this car, and my dad's driving it, and so I'm like, okay, like I'm looking, I'm like, this car's effed. You know what I'm saying? But I was grateful to have a car. We go to the license plates. That was a big ordeal. My dad helped me with all this, just to be clear. My dad paid for all this stuff. Throughout my life, my parents have not helped me with things. Okay, they have not helped me, like not in the way that you would expect parents would. Period. And this is a huge factor. Okay, like over the last year or two, I started making a decent amount of money. I like a couple of years ago when this was right before I quit my job. I was making like I don't know, like 75 to like 100,000 a year, somewhere in there. So I hadn't been reliant on them for anything. I was talking to my dad, having just recently gone through a spell where I had money. It made even less sense to me that he would buy me this car. It was like the worst car. So let me get to what I'm trying to say. I get into the car, right? And I'm supposed to drive it back to Gainesville from Tallahassee. There's something wrong with this car. I mean, there's just nothing is right. Literally everything is messed up on it. The steering is loose. Like it just feels like it's dangerous. It feels like I'm just gonna go flying off the road. And I just thought to myself, like, my dad is not this stupid. I just kept saying, I was like, he's not this stupid. And I was just crying and just weeping on the way. I actually pulled over on the side of the road and called him. I said, I don't think this thing is safe to drive to Gainesville. I don't think it's safe to drive to Gainesville. I think it's going to break down before I even get to Gainesville. And he's like, if the car breaks down, I'll fix it. I'm like, yo, dad, this car is messed up. It looks like it's going to break down like every couple days or something. And he's like, no, it's not going to break down every couple days. The wheels started turning in my head. What was he doing with the car for all this time? And I started asking him, what were you doing with the car? Because my dad is a mechanic. He knows how to work on cars. What were you doing with the car? Oh, well, I was cleaning it and getting it all fixed up for you. I'm like, okay, well, it seems like the CV joints are busted. Like okay, this is what ended up happening, you guys. I had a meltdown on the side of the road. Okay, like a total meltdown. And I'm talking to my dad on the phone, and I'm like, I know that you're involved with this stuff. This car you are setting me up to fail, just like the people at my last job were doing, just like, and because I had been talking to him every day. My dad was my confidant, right? I'm having a hard time talking about this. I thought there was no way this guy is like, just no, why would a man give his son a car that is like intentionally rigged up to break down? And so I told him, I said, I think this car is intentionally set up to break down systematically over the next couple months. And it's supposed to leave me in a lurch, stranded, all frustrated, ticked off. And like, I'm supposed to have my Michael Douglas falling down moment where I like, freak out. Oh, he showed me that movie, by the way. And one of the last memories I had with my dad, he took me to see that movie, The Game, with Michael Douglas. It's like the only movie he ever took me to go see. So when I had that meltdown on the side of the road, I was like, this car's going to break down. Like, I predicted it would break down like 15 times. I think that was the number I came up with, you guys. I was upset when I said that. I was exaggerating. I was almost being facetious. I was just so angry. You guys, the car broke down more than that. It broke down more times than I thought it would. More times. The car is far exceeded as effed up. Okay, this morning when I woke up, I wrote down my topic for today, and I wrote down the car. Got a flat tire. Got a flat tire today. And when I go to get the spare off the back, there's a key lock on it. Also, this is all done on purpose, you guys. When I go to open up the flap, there's the tire jack there, but the rod to move it up and down, totally gone. And the tire jack has never been used before. There's not one scrape on it. He spent all his time fixing. The person I call my father literally spent days like machine tightening everything and breaking bolts and stripping bolts and setting up that car so it would be a miserable experience for me. I know that's true. I know it's true. Also, in addition to that, there is a tracking device in the vehicle. By the way, my family also makes proximity sensors. Look it up. Look up RC30 proximity sensors. Look up Wickham proximity sensors. Wickham RC30. And I also figured out why I always like going over to one of my very first memories as a kid, I always thought was in Crescent Beach, Florida, because that's where my parents always told me that we went. And it is that general area, right? You guys, the beach that I always go to that I have my first memories from is Butler Beach. Butler is the last name of the woman who tranquilized me in the leg and pretended like her dog bit me when I was in like middle school. Her last name was Butler. And this is my pastor's mother-in-law, by the way. Changed her last name to Swain. Her last name's Swain. She's passed away now. This woman has passed away, or so they say. That's what they say. She's probably in the underground, sipping on blood. That's what they're doing. It keeps them young. They might even have some way to go down in the middle of the earth and age digress or something. They probably stay the same age and then they send their clones up, their biological clones. Or maybe Mrs. Butler's gone. I hope she's gone because that woman tranquilized me in the leg and pretended like a Doberman bit me. And I don't know what happened when I was passed out. But I know now that my parents took me to Butler Beach. Butler Beach. Historic Butler Beach. And there's a road there called Don Danville Road, like my brother. How interesting. Butler Beach, Don Danville. Look, I was never looking at my family. All I said to myself when I was in Gainesville was like, is my family hiding money from me? And then I called this lawyer who's like representing the family with all these business matters. And I just wanted to talk to the guy. You would think that when I call a lawyer who's been representing my grandfather for like 25, 30, 50 years, probably 300 years, right? That like the guy would be like, hi, Josh. Like, yeah, I know you're Harry's grandson. Like, what's up? What? He didn't even feign being concerned or, happy to hear from me. Oh, no. He's like, I can't talk to you about any of your grandfather's business. And I was like, I don't want to talk to you about my grandfather's business. And he said, well, I can't talk to you about anything with about your father either. I think me and him did his business too. I can't talk to you about him. I said, I don't want to talk to you about my father. I said, I just want to talk to you about my family, man. I got some questions. He said, I can't talk to you. I can't help you. And the whole time he's like, I can't hear you. I can't hear what you're saying. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Like the phone was breaking up. Like, prank caller, prank caller. Thanks, family lawyer. Like, my family, it looks like my family is just effing me. It looks like they effed me literally growing up, and now they're effing me metaphorically now. Or maybe this is all some big joke, and they're all gonna come out and be like, surprise. Here's 5 bars of gold and 10 bars of silver and $2 million and have a good life, you know? So that's about what I'd like right now. I'll take all this stuff down off the internet. You know, give me like some bars of silver, some bars of gold, and a couple $1 million. I think that's more than fair for a lifetime of abuse. A lifetime of abuse. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, which is the portals, right? And that's why I started with my announcement, the portals. I don't really have much to say about it, you guys, because I'm not going to say where they are. If you have half a brain, you can figure it out yourself, I think. There will come a time where I'm going to talk about where they are. And I think for a safeguard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a YouTube video saying exactly where they are, set it to air a week or like, like a week away, and then cancel it. And then, if I am kaput, then it goes on. Then it airs on YouTube. Seems pretty simple, right? I'll need to get like another fail safe, see if I can do the same thing on Twitch. But so yeah, like I don't really know what else to say about it, you guys. I know where some of them are. I know where some of them are located. And what it looks like you can travel like hyper speed, like under the ground from like who knows where. That's the thing, is I don't know the things that I have seen and the people. I assume they're people. The people I have seen, I don't know where they're coming from, right? And I don't know where they're going. But yeah, I know where they're at. I don't really know what else to say about it other than that. If you really want to know, then go watch my TikTok videos. You'll probably be able to figure it out yourself, Maybe not, though. Maybe not. You have to understand, you guys, I wasn't looking for this stuff. I wasn't looking for this information. I wasn't hunting around for this crap. It was the car that my dad gave me. I was like, when I realized that I was right and that he had really bamboozled me with this car, like, because it's like, yeah, and I'm still driving it right now. And the thing is, you guys, there's been so much work done to it. The last straw was like just recently for my birthday. He said he wanted to get the clutch fixed, and he kept talking about it. I wanted to get, or the what do you call it? Not the clutch, but the is it the clutch? Yeah, he wanted to get the clutch replaced, right? Because it needs to be replaced every 130,000 miles or whatever. So, but he's real insistent about it, real insistent about it. And I was like, it seems like you know something, but I don't know about the car. Like the clutch is going to break down. He's like, just get it done. So when I took it to the shop, I was like, get the brakes done too. Do the brakes. Because I knew that my dad was about done with me. Because I was making allegations about my mother. And if so, fact so, they were allegations about him. Like he's not stupid. You know what I mean? And this is all around that time. And the hammer started coming down with the allegations about my childhood home being built like by somebody and all that stuff, like knowing that there was going to be like the R word to children going on in there before the foundation was poured. He saw the writing on the wall and he got really upset with the car thing because he was expecting to pay like $400 and the bill was like $900. And I was like, because look, I knew what he gave me. He gave me a car that's set up to break down, and it's probably still set up to break down. I'm probably like, in where the oil goes, people are probably dumping water in there or emptying it out there's probably leaks. I had to get the radiator done, new battery, new alternator, new starter, new radiator. The clutch has been replaced. The brakes have been replaced. I just need to like take care of the engine and the transmission and like the thing should be fine. I think that's like the trick too, because my dad and somebody else were trying to talk me, put the idea in my head to get a new car. Oh, we should get a new car. I'm like, yo, I'm just going to buy a car from somebody who is in my family or who is in the SS. It's going to have another tracking device in it and it's going to be rigged up to break down, but I'm not going to have my father to scream at and like guilt trip into fixing it. So I have this eerie suspicion now that the car is probably not going to break down for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, who knows? I don't know. I knock on wood. I don't. There's some things that I need to get fixed with. Anyways, we don't want to talk about the car too much. It's the general idea of it. Um, but yeah, there is a tracking device in there. How do I know that? Because I have a bug detector and I got a private detective to help me with it. And I know where some of the places are where they have like a lot of sensors and stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and I'm starting to like realize things geographically in Florida. And and this has all happened because the person I call my father, Rob Earth, gave me this car that was, if he, look, I'm serious. If he would have given me if he would have bought me like, not a nice car, I'm not talking about I don't need anything classy. I'm not talking about nice looking. I'm not talking about popular. It could be the most least popular car, the same car that he bought me. It could have been the same car he bought me, but minus the 4 or 5 days he spent rigging it up and putting in whatever RC30, whatever responds to an RC30 proximity sensor. Because there's either an RC30 proximity sensor in my car, or the RC30s are what they have on these posts around Florida. That's what's triggering the thing in my car. This stuff isn't rocket science. So, um, if you are targeted, a lot of what you're seeing with all the signaling and stuff like that, it's actually people in the SS signaling to each other. A lot of it doesn't have anything to do with you, but a lot of it does. Mostly what they're doing is they're trying to hide from you. They're trying to this is my what it's been for me from what I can tell. They've mostly been trying to evade me and trick me and hide stuff from me, like where the portals are. Do you see what I'm saying? So I could tell that they were looking a little bit nervous today. I know there's people out there that are watching my show. You know what I mean? Just because I don't have the stat, it'll show up as like one view on YouTube. But there might be like an entire bar full of people in the underground right now drinking and watching my show. If you guys are drinking and watching my show in the underground, hello. Look, I don't care about the portals. I don't care that you guys are, you know, I do, I do, I do care about the infant blood thing, right? And I think that's something that we need to disclose. We need to have a full disclosure and talk about because like something isn't right. You know what I mean? And unless all these movies and books and everything that we've been taught and everything we know inherently just as people is wrong, which is a wrong thing to say. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's no way you're going to convince me that doing like just I I can't even think of the words, you guys. Words have yet, and I'm not being facetious or exaggerating. Words have yet to be created, and your words have yet to be invented to truly describe the disgusting horror that is going on right underneath our noses. Speaking of, and I'll end with this, it's Sunday. Okay, that's Sun Day. Um, I try to do like my worshiping to God in heaven, the good Lord, on Saturday because ever since I learned Sunday's a pagan thing, so I do all my stuff on Saturday, and I try to work on Sundays. But there, this is what I believe. This is what I believe. I believe that the Sundays is the day that they're. I think that's when it goes down. Is on Sundays. Probably around right now. Actually, sun just set. So then or like 4 in the morning. I think that's when they're um, doing murder. That's when they have the murder down in Haiti. I think there was a sister church contacting my church talking about they were doing something to Christians at 4 a.m. It didn't sound good, you guys. I tried to ask more about it. Um, didn't get anywhere. I'm gonna make another episode too about something because somebody made a comment about like I just now remember this. Somebody made a comment about like if this is true, like what we can't do anything or what are we supposed to do? But I think the comment was a defeatist comment, like we can't do anything. What could we possibly do? Look around you. Look around your house. Look around your neighborhood. There's stuff that we can do, and it starts with talking. It starts with talking about this stuff. It doesn't start with violence, you guys. It starts with talking. Because if you figure out that like where that there's a small portal or entrance portal in like one of your neighbor's houses, and then you find out that there's one downtown in your city, like yeah, let's talk about that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like let's not hurt people. Let's not dump explosives down these things. Let's not dump water down these things. Let's not do anything harmful to other people, because that would just be stooping to their level. They are the violent ones. They're the ones that settle things with violence, and that can no longer be done because it just doesn't work. Um, but I also think chopping people up in a torture meat factory also is a bad thing, just for the record. I've been talking all day. My voice is raspy. I'm going to go ahead and dip on my YouTube show. Thank you for tuning in. And I love you guys. Oh, before I go, let me go over my records for the day. My track picks. We got 2 really good ones today. Right here, we have the white label. White labels were before the actual tracks came out. Okay. So what we have right here is side A, New York, New York. And then side B, DJ Falson and Bangalter, Call on Me. You know that song? Call on me, call on me, call on me. Call on me, call on me. Anyways, great track. And then another, since I pulled that one out, I thought I'd go with this one as well. Beach Ball. This is the DJ Icy and Tall Paul remixes. To be specific, if you guys are wanting to listen to these, we're looking at the DJ Icy bass mix, which is 5 minutes, 32 seconds. Then there's DJ Icy's The C mix, which is the one that I really, really like. But oh, no. I can't remember which ones I like the most, you guys. I think it might be the Tall Paul remixes, because on the other side, there's the Tall Paul remix. I think that was the go-to. And then the original club mix. But this track right here, Beach Ball, it's where this female singing, get ready to roll. Let's get ready. Anyway, that track is epic. It's a classic. It's cheesy. I love it. I love that track. It's a great track. If you guys are partying, drop that track. All right, peace out on the YouTube.